Hey everyone, it's Casey, and today we are going to go through an inversion-inspired Vinyasa class. So basically, we're going to get upside down while activating our cores. So think headstand, handstand, forearm balance. All of these will be offered throughout the practice, but take it at your own pace. You don't have to do any inversions, or at least any of those inversions, to enjoy this practice. So I have 2 blocks. Those are completely optional. We'll be doing a couple positions that might be nice to have them. Otherwise, just you, your body, your mat, and we're good to go. So let's start off in a nice, comfortable seated position, any one of your choice. Spine up nice and tall, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, pull them back, and just let them drape down away from the ears, and then close the eyes. So with the eyes closed, take a moment to just feel a little lifting through the chest. Feel the shoulders heavily draping towards the ground, creating space in the neck, the distance between shoulders and ears. And then from here, just notice the breath, the rhythm of your breath, the length of the inhales and the exhales, and maybe the spaces in between. Notice any mental clutter, any junk up there, anything that's heavy. Notice any emotions. Sometimes that also carries a heaviness, a weight. And to help us create more lightness and ease within our bodies and within our minds, we're going to take a few deep breaths. So let's relax the breath out first. We'll start at the bottom of that exhale. And then together, breathing in, expand your belly, expand your rib cage, and open up into your upper back and into your chest. Hold the breath here. And just think about a nice release of any heaviness or anything you no longer need as you open up your mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. Again, slow breath in through the nose. Take your time, gradually expanding the body open in all directions, letting the breath rise. And once you come to the top of the breath, pausing here. Same thing, just open up your mouth and exhale, let it all the way out. Now let's keep the breath through the nose. Inhale, expanding, opening, front, back, and sides. Breath comes all the way up into the chest, your throat, your upper back, holding your breath. And then keep the breath through the nose. Exhale, empty out your chest. Empty out your ribs and all the way out through your belly. So relax the breath just a little bit here so you're no longer exuding all of your effort into the breath, but as you relax it back, still consciously breathing, taking fuller expansive breaths, just a little less forced. And keep the breath in and out of your nose. Begin to lightly constrict your airway, giving the breath that audible ocean wave sound. Ujjayi breath. Victorious breath. And let the breath anchor you all the way down through your sit bones. And also allowing it to lift and carry you all the way up through the crown of your head, creating length, space, and support. And through this audible breath, it doesn't have to be super loud, just soft enough for you to hear. Try to maintain it throughout this practice. And let the breath be the indicator when you may have gone too far in a position or straining the body when you don't really need to. Let the breath guide you into taking rest or modifications. It is the language of your body, and all you have to do is just listen. Just listen. So right now, feel the breath is smooth. It's easy to regulate because we are still. Once we start moving, it's really important that we start listening to what the breath has to say. Child's pose or any resting position is always available to you at any time through this or any other practice. You are your greatest teacher. Let your breath guide you. Okay, so let's Give little movements in the fingers and toes. And let the chin drop down to your chest, lifting the rest of the spine. Feel your right ear roll to your right shoulder. Maybe briefly reach your left fingertips out to the left side and down to the ground. Take a deep breath in, find that space. And then exhale, chin to chest, hand to the lap. Inhale, roll left ear, left shoulder, right fingertips might reach away. Stay an extra breath here. And then chin to your chest, hand down to your lap. Okay, lifting the head all the way up to center, blinking open through the eyes if you haven't already. Feel the shoulders roll forward towards each other, lifting them up towards the ears, and then while lifted, pull them back as you expand and roll open through the chest. And then exhale, relax the shoulders down. Let's do that again. Inhale, roll them forward, almost as though you're creating a broadening of your upper back and shoulders. Lifting them up towards the ears. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, start to pull them back as you open up the chest, and exhale, melt them down away from the ears. So now you have this natural lift through the spine. We're going to open up a little bit more, so let's cup the hands over the knees. Keep the opening of the spine as you pull against the knees. Open up your ribs and chest, heart lifts up. Take a deep breath in, sit bones are drawing back. And then exhale, round your chin to your chest, tuck your tail under, lean back, curling here. And then inhale, scoop forward and up through the chest, heart lifts, sit bones draw back. Pull on the knees to open up the ribs a little bit more. And exhale, rounding, curling in. Tuck the tail under. You might lean back into it, holding on to the knees. Take a few more rounds on your own. Just move at your pace, your rhythm. Make sure you're staying in those deep ujjayi breaths. And incorporate any additional movements that might feel more personalized to you today, whatever it is that you're needing. One more breath. Okay, slowly make your way up into a neutral spine, nice and tall. Interlace the fingers, reach the arms forward in front of you, reaching through the palms, and then slowly lift the arms all the way up and over your head, or at least as much as you can. Now, as you reach up through the palms, lift the shoulders up towards the ears. So you're trying to now decrease the space, lifting, using all the muscles that support your shoulder blades to lift them higher. Maybe they even do touch the ears. And then exhale, just relax your shoulders down. Okay, once again, inhale, lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Maybe they touch. And then exhale, relax them down. Bend the elbows, open them wide as you open up and release the hands. Arms come all the way down to the sides. Roll the shoulders forward and up. And exhale, roll them all the way back and down. Okay, let's take the legs out nice and wide. I like to remove the flesh out from underneath the sit bones, get a little more space and pelvic tilt here. Hands can either drop behind you to work on lifting the chest and lifting that lower back, extending through the legs. This might be good enough of a stretch already. Otherwise, lower back stays long. Hands can come forward and let the pelvis guide you, tipping the pelvis forward, walking the hands out and taking it into your appropriate variation. Maybe find a little movement wherever you are, okay? Now, the purpose here is we just want to work on finding a nice long spine and getting the pelvis to move and tip, to find access into our hamstrings and not just strain into our lower back. So if you are upright and just enjoying it there, please stay, follow your breath. One more here. All right, now briefly lengthen the spine from wherever you are. If you need to come up a little higher, come up a little higher. Walk your hands off to the right side, frame your right leg. You might even twist your ribs and chest open a little bit. Stay here, or exhale, folding, walking the hands down the length of the leg as you fold over. Just one breath. Inhale, come all the way back to that nice long spine, and hands walk back to center. And then let's walk the hands over to the left side. Frame your left leg, hands to either side. Open up the ribs and chest. Long spine, deep breath in, stay here, or folding deeper, maybe hands walk down the length of the leg. Take it to your variation, one breath. Slowly coming up, extended spine, walk the hands back to center, and then slowly all the way up as the hands hook behind the backs of the knees, walking the feet in. Drop back onto the hands and just rock the knees from side to side. Now, hands are about shoulder width apart here. Spin your fingers out so they're facing away from each other. Okay, and as they face away from each other, you're gonna bend your elbows towards one another. Maybe they only bend a little bit, and that's okay, but as they bend back towards each other, keep them there. You're gonna naturally feel the chest expand more, and then lift up through the ribs. Keep that bend into the elbows as much as possible, even if it's a micro bend. Heart is lifting, ribs lifting, one more breath. Straighten out the arms, drop the chest. Let's sweep the legs around and come into a nice tabletop position. Okay, brief little twist here. Inhale, reach your right arm up, open up the ribs and chest. And then exhale, we're gonna thread the arm through, either drop down to the elbow and open up the chest, or lower all the way down to the shoulder, scoot the head forward, and then rest the head down. Nice space into the neck. Stay here. Maybe left arm reaches up. Maybe even drape it into your lower back or reaching for inner thigh. So you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, maybe extend your left leg coming up onto the toes, or even work on finding some balance as you float the left leg up. Core is nice and strong. One more breath. Slowly bring the left foot back down if it's lifted, followed by the knee. If you adjusted left hand, bring it underneath the left shoulder, press into the floor. Inhale, come all the way up, right arm sweeps high. And then exhale, hand down to the ground, tabletop position. Let's do other side. Inhale, left arm reaches left and all the way up, open up the chest. And exhale, thread the needle, once again, either down onto the forearm or all the way down onto the shoulder. If you're on the shoulder, head forward and then release it down. Stay here, opening up the chest. Maybe the right arm reaches up. Maybe flip the palm back, getting internal rotation of the shoulder, and then dropping hand around to lower back or inner thigh. Same variation, stay here or extend right leg back, coming up onto the toes. Maybe work on finding a little bit of balance, lifting the right foot up. One more breath. Once again, let the breath indicate where your edges are and honor them. If your right leg is up, slowly bring the toes down, followed by the knee. Right hand comes down to the floor, pressing into the ground. Inhales come all the way up. Left arm sweeps high. And then tabletop position, bring it back down. Okay, so from here, maybe adjust your hands a little bit more forward. We're gonna walk the knees back and then pull the hips to make sure they're stacked over the knees. Okay, and then from here, if you need to walk the hands even more forward, you can, or walk the knees back a little bit more, you can. And then just begin to drop the chest towards the floor. Let's just take 2 breaths here. It's okay to drop the elbows, and it's also okay to separate the hands a little wider apart, aiming for about shoulder width, but feel free to play within those variations. And then slowly come forward and up, walking the knees in. Now, downward facing dog, set up the hands and feet for your best alignment as you lift the hips up and back. Spine is nice and long here, so maybe take a bend into the knees or a generous bend into the knees. Spend a few breaths just kind of pedaling out the legs, feeling into them, trying to find some more space. Pressing through the hands, feel the fingers spread wide. Let's take another breath. Now slowly rock forward into a plank position. Get the stacking of the shoulders right over the wrists. Press into the hands, press into the fingertips, and let's just do little circles over the wrists here. And then reverse the direction. Keep the core tight. If you need to drop the knees, drop the knees. Nice. And then from this position, we're going to drop the knees down to the ground. And with the knees down, you're going to imagine trying to almost roll your armpits to face each other. So almost imagine that your armpits could roll in, and you're going to kind of feel your elbows spin under and in. Okay, and then keep that kind of rolling in motion as you start to bend your elbows and lower your forearms to the ground. Okay, now press through the hands, keep that same inner rolling in as you come all the way back up. Okay, we're gonna do that again. If you need to adjust your hands a little more forward, find the appropriate distance. Roll the armpits to face each other, feel the elbows roll under and in. Keep that as you start to bend your elbows and lower with control all the way down to the ground, okay? If lowering all the way to the ground is just not happening, do what you can and then let yourself sink into it, okay? A couple more times, just activating these muscles. Keep the armpits rolled in, the elbows rolled in, press to the hands, lifting the elbows up, coming back into that kind of plank tabletop position. Again, elbows roll under, bending the elbows, slowly lower them down to the ground with control. Keep that same tension, come all the way up. Last one here. Elbows roll in and under, lower them all the way down to the ground. And then slowly come all the way back up. Okay. And actually, let's do it one more time because I want to stay on the forearms. Elbows roll under, lower the forearms down. Maybe walk the forearms forward, walk the knees back. Let's come into a little Sphinx pose. So from Sphinx pose, grip the ground with your hands and just start to pull the ground towards you. As you pull it towards you, feel the ribs open, the heart open. Another breath here. Then relax, open up the elbows wide and start to pull the hands back so they're framed a little more underneath your shoulders. I like to line my thumbs down on my lower ribs. That feels better in my positioning. Do what feels best in yours. So elbows draw in slightly. Press through the tops of the feet. 3 rounds of cobra. You choose how high you'd like to come up each time. Press through the hands. Inhale, pull the heart forward and up. And exhale right back down. Once again, you might only lift just a little bit. That's okay. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Again, inhale, lift up. Hold here on your exhale. Open up the chest, shoulders away from the ears. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe come back onto the knees first or tuck the toes. Lift the hips up and back. Okay, move around a little bit. Couple deep breaths. Now looking forward towards the top of the mat, you're going to come up onto your tippy toes. As you come up onto the tippy toes, press firmly through your hands. Imagine trying to get the shoulders towards the ears as you press. And then walking your tippy toes forward. Keep pressing through the hands, looking between the hands. Walk as far forward as you can until you need to drop the heels. And make your way to the top of the mat, forward fold position. Separate the feet, hips width, let the body just drape, hang out. You can hook opposite elbows with your hands. Maybe sway a little side to side, just a breath or two. Release the hands as you come back to center. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Draw the chest forward, sit bones draw back, bend the knees if needed to create length into the spine, especially that lower back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Reach up tall. As the arms reach up, open up the chest, lift the heart. And then take your hands to heart center and then down to your sides. Okay, we're gonna warm up a little bit into our hip flexors. So a little balance, stability, as well as kind of getting a little more muscle activation. So let's take hands to heart center. Weight comes into your right foot. And then keeping the spine straight up and down, just start to lift your left knee towards your chest. Okay, now I want you to use your hands to pull the knee in a little bit closer to your chest. But as you pull it in, I want you to equally lift your chest tall. Okay, if it's too much balance, come next to a wall. I want you to feel more activation here. So you're gonna try to keep that knee as close to the chest as you can. Activate the muscles and then release your hands and try to keep the leg there. Spine stays tall, keep squeezing the thigh towards the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Relax the foot down, shake out the legs. So we're just turning on those hip flexors a little bit. Okay, weight into your left leg, hands at heart center to start. Right knee lifts towards the chest. Find a focal point, something to look at. And then use your hands to cup the knee, pull it in towards the chest as you lift the spine tall. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Now you're gonna feel that right hip turn on as you take less weight out of your hands, more weight out of your hands, until you can release the hands completely and try to hold that leg in place. Thighs pulling towards the ribs or chest, spine tall, 3, 2, 1. Release it down, shake it out. Okay, we're gonna go through a little bit of sun salutation movement here. So standing at the top of the mat, feet together, arms reach up, deep breath in, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Exhale, step back, plank position, holding here for an extra breath. And then inhale, rock forward slightly over the wrists. Exhale, lower half or all the way down. Feel free to drop the knees. Inhale, lift your heart. Forward, up and open, cobra or upward facing dog, shoulders away from ears. And exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Head drops heavy, Uddiyana Bandha is engaged, so feel your belly button hug up and in. Let's take another breath here. Then inhale, prepare, come high up onto the toes, look towards the hands. Exhale, you're gonna step or lightly hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breath in, heart draws forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. Reach up nice and tall, arms over your head. Chest lifts, and exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips, drape all the way back down. Inhale, lengthen your spine, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, and then finishing that vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's take another breath here. And then inhale, come up onto the toes. Exhale, look forward, and if you can, give a little hop, otherwise just walk to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breath in. And exhale, fold. Go ahead and step the feet together if they're not already. Bend into the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Hips drop back, arms extend up. Now really feel the core tighten here. Feel the front hips lifting as the tail stretches down. Core is engaged. Spine is long. Sit down a little deeper. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back, take your vinyasa all the way back to downward dog. Use your variations. Nice. Once you make it back to your downward dog, right leg reaches up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Take an extra breath. Inhale, straighten out the legs, square the hips. Exhale your knee towards your right armpit, as high up there as you can get it. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee towards your left armpit, as best as you can. Inhale, lift it up. And then exhale, big step forward, all the way between your hands. Now get a nice stacking of the knee directly over the ankle, and take a moment to find your balance, your stability. Back foot sets to a 45-degree angle, heel is down, toes spun slightly forward to get both hips squared forward. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Now take a couple breaths, really ground into it here. Then take the hands, bring them behind the back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, chest up as the knuckles draw down. And exhale, humble warrior. Start to hinge over. Either stay above the leg or drape to the inside of the leg, but try to keep the hips fairly squared towards the front here. So in other words, don't let your hips just completely open out to the side. Let's take another breath. Pull through the knuckles. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms stretch high over your head, coming back into warrior one. And exhale, take your hands down to the ground. We're gonna step all the way back into downward facing dog. Okay, so from downward dog, hands are shoulder width apart. I want you to start rolling your armpits in towards each other, just like we did from tabletop position. So armpits roll in as though you can scoop your elbows under and towards each other. Now keep that drawing in motion as you start to bend your elbows. Now, if you need to lower one elbow at a time, it's okay. Otherwise, keep that motion, lower both elbows down at the same time. Now, adjust as much as you need to from here. Elbows are no wider than your shoulders. Press into the elbows, lift your chest as high as you can away from the ground. Now start to walk the feet in, pike the hips as high as you can, and imagine those hips getting over the shoulders as much as you can. Maybe even come up onto your tippy toes. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Now slowly walk the feet back. If you need to drop the knees, drop the knees. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come all the way up to plank position. So whether you're on the toes or on your knees, press to the hands, elbows just drawn in towards each other, lift your elbows off the ground, come forward into plank, and take your vinyasa. Nice. Now take your time, but once you're here and you are ready, left leg reaches up on an inhale, open up the hip, bend the knee, and give yourself an extra breath. Inhale, straighten out the legs, square the hips. Exhale your knee towards your left armpit, squeeze. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale towards the right armpit, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, take a big step forward between the hands, knee stacked over the ankle, back foot, 45-degree angle, square the hips forward. Inhale, from this solid base, come all the way up, warrior one. Now as you come into your warrior one, square the hips, right hip forward, press into that back heel, lift through the arch, sink into the front leg, and feel this inner thigh activation towards each other. Now take the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, chest up, knuckles reach down, and exhale, hinging forward, humble warrior, either above the thigh or drape to the inside of the thigh. Same thing, square the hips. Feel the knuckles drawing away from the back. One more breath. Pull through the knuckles. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach the arms high over your head. And then exhale, take the hands down to the ground. As the hands plant, you're going to step back, downward facing dog. Now, same thing, hands about shoulder width, maybe a little more narrow. Elbows draw in and under, and then keep that as you lower your forearms to the ground. Press into the elbows, don't collapse into your shoulders. Maybe walk the feet in. Maybe come high up onto the tippy toes. And then walk the feet back if they inched forward. Create some space. Look forward. Okay, you're going to press through the hands. You can either just press up into plank and go from there, with or without the knees, or think about creating slightly like a rainbow shape with your elbows. Right now they're down. They're going to come up towards plank and all the way over to chaturanga. So take a deep breath in. And then exhale, pop elbows up, forward, and all the way into chaturanga. Go through your motions, downward dog, and then take a brief child's pose. Hips sink back, down towards the heels. Now give yourself just a few breaths here. We're going to keep the energy moving, but if you'd like to stay longer in your child's pose, please do. Last breath. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to meet in downward facing dog again. Inhale, right leg reaches up. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten out the legs, square the hips. Exhale, knee to right armpit, squeeze. Try to get shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee towards left armpit, twist. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, big step forward, all the way to the front, back foot 45. Inhale, rise. Let's come back up into our warrior one. Hands come behind the back. Interlace the fingers, hearts lift up, take a deep breath in. And exhale, humble warrior, hinging over. Take another breath. Now inhale, come all the way up, arms reach up, warrior one. And then we're going to open up into warrior two. Open up the back foot 90 degrees. Remember, maybe separate the feet a little wider apart. Create more space and distance. Arms stretch forward and back. Bend into the front knee, open up the thigh. Core is strong and active. Let's take one more breath here. Now inhale, straighten out the front leg. Pivot your toes to the side of the mat. Arms reach up, deep breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Feet are parallel or slightly pigeon-toed. Long spine, breath in, and exhale, forward fold. So you can just stay here in your forward fold. Maybe you walk the hands back. Maybe you grab the ankles, the feet, or any variation. We're going to be here for about 5 breaths. Stay as you are, or if headstand is part of your practice already, okay? We're not breaking down, but if it's already part of your practice from here, you can go ahead and set the head, transfer weight, and slowly make your way up into headstand. If it's not, stay right where you are. If you're up, slowly open and bring it all the way back down, feet nice and wide. Now from here, inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. You're going to walk your hands back towards the front of the mat. Pivot your feet to kind of follow that direction setting. Now this is the option where you might want the blocks. We're going to come into a standing split. Hands walk forward as much as you need to lift the back leg up, and then start to draw your torso in towards the standing leg as you lift tall through the top leg. If it's hard to get your hands on the ground while keeping your legs straight, use the blocks, hands to your blocks. One more deep breath. Now inhale, lengthen halfway. From here, I like to sometimes take my front foot and bring it back a little bit and then lift the leg up again, okay, to create space, or you can walk your hands forward. You're gonna plant both palms down, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide, lean into your hands, come up onto the right toes, wiggle it back if needed. And as you lean in, you can either take little baby hops, one swift hop, or no hops at all. Maybe you just take the foot down, step back, take your vinyasa. Otherwise, little hop, if you have a little handstand, you can hop, catch, and lower all the way through. Take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Inhale, straighten, square everything out. Exhale, knee towards left armpit. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale towards the right. Inhale it up. And then big step forward to the front. Back foot, 45-degree angle. Inhale, come all the way up. Warrior one. Hands come behind your back, interlace your fingers. Hearts up, inhale. Exhale, humble warrior. Hinging over, knuckles draw away from the back. One breath here. Inhale, come all the way back up. Warrior one, arms up. And then exhale, warrior two, open up the hips. Back foot opens up 90 degrees. Reach the arms forward and back. Back leg is straight and strong. Bending into the front knee, rolling the thigh open. One more deep breath here. Inhale, straighten out the front leg, pivot the toes in, feet are parallel. Arms reach up, breath in, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway, and exhale, fold a little deeper. So same thing. Maybe you just take this to your variation of a forward bend. Maybe you take headstand again. Maybe you want to play with handstand or forearm balance. You can plant the hands forward in front of you, lean into them, and work on giving little hops. Wherever you are, slowly make your way feet down to the ground, nice and wide. Long spine, breath in, and then walk your hands to the front of the mat. Pivot your feet to follow. Okay, now since we know we're going to go to standing split and we're going to have that variation afterwards, pull the front foot back a little bit so there's plenty of space in front of you. Hands walk forward, back leg lifts up, standing splits. With or without your blocks, but press into the standing leg. Lift the energy through the top leg. One more breath here. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Okay, walk the hands forward if needed till you can plant the palms. Lean forward, shoulders over wrists. Then come up onto the left toes, maybe wiggle them back. Either little hops, one hop, or no hops. Take it back through your vinyasa. If you want a little handstand kicks, go for it. And then once you're in downward dog, drop down once again into a nice little child's pose. Alrighty, so we're gonna go through a little more dolphin focus towards forearm balance offering. So let's lower the forearms down to the ground. Shoulder width. Hands can angle in slightly, whatever feels best for you. Okay, now from here, press into the arms, make sure the shoulders are lifted and supported. Then tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips. Looking down at the ground, start to walk the feet in. You're gonna wanna feel like you're gonna collapse in your shoulders. Press, Breathe. Use your breath as an indicator. Stay here or maybe lift the right leg up. Stay here, maybe come up onto the left toes, maybe give little hops, maybe catch a little bit of air. Set the right foot down, left leg up. Maybe come up onto the right toes, maybe little hops. And then slowly make your way down, child's pose. Relax. Take just a few more breaths here. Okay, you can come up to a seat for a moment and just go ahead and figure 8 your wrists. Shake them out, whatever feels right. Maybe little chicken wings as you tuck the top of the hand under armpits. Okay, we're gonna go through one last offering, one last little burner. If you wanna rest, this is a great time to just enjoy your rest. Otherwise, we're gonna be working a little bit more handstand motion. So what we'll be doing is we'll be coming into 3-legged dog, and then we'll be trying to hop forward, and then hop all the way back into chaturanga. Now, if you want to add handstand in there, turn it into a handstand practice, okay? Let's make our way downward dog. Right leg's gonna lift up. Hands are shoulder width, look forward between the hands. Spread the fingers wide, press through the hands and shoulders. Now you're gonna kind of bend that bottom knee as your top foot kind of comes down, and then just kind of straighten the leg as the foot comes up. Bend, lower, straighten, lift, okay? That's the motion, but we're not just kicking through the top leg, we're gonna lift through the hips, okay? So next time the leg lowers, bend into the knee, you're gonna use that lift and that straighten to lift the hips and try to kick them up high over the hips. We're gonna land in a standing split at the top of the mat. Okay, so give a little kick, hips up, and then bring yourself into standing split as close to the top of the mat as you can. If you did not like how that turned out, real quick, back it up, try it again. Okay, and in fact, let's do it 2 more times. Step back, right leg up, bend, foot lowers, sweep it up, kick, standing splits. Last one, step it back, right leg up, bend, kick up, standing splits, drawing in. Then lengthen the spine, hands plant. You're gonna kick it all the way up, maybe handstand, and then lower into your chaturanga, go through your vinyasa. Okay, last side, left leg up, okay? Bend a little into your right knee, feel the left foot lower. And then straighten and lift, look forward between the hands, bend and lower. Straighten and lift, press to those hands, bend and lower. On this next one, hop forward, hips up, come into a standing split. And then step it back. Left leg up, bend, lower, look forward, and hop, standing split. Let's do it again. Step it back, left leg up, bend lower, lift kick, standing split. One more, just for giggles. Step it back, left leg up, bend lower, lift kick, standing split. Long spine. Plant the hands, maybe handstand, maybe not. Take your vinyasa. And then drop into child's pose. Sink in, relax your breath. Open up the mouth, let go of some trapped energy, heat, intensity. Let the mouth breathing come at a time that's intentional. You're releasing. Maybe it comes with a sigh. Take a few more breaths, but if you're feeling extra sprite today and you want to just continue working on your inversions, hit pause until you're ready to wind down. One more breath. All right, let's come forward, tabletop, and then into any comfortable, actually a cross-leg seated position. Okay, so from your cross-leg seat, let's cross right leg in front of the left leg and try to line your right shin up with the front of your mat so they're running on parallels. And then you're gonna lean off to the right hip and sweep your left leg out to the side. So front shin runs parallel with the front of the mat, and your back shin runs parallel with the side of the mat. Flex into the ankles, and then facing forward over your right leg. Long spine, breath in. Stay here, or exhale, walk your hands forward, and slowly release over the right leg. Maybe you only come down a little, maybe use blocks, maybe you drop to forearms, stack your hands underneath your head, or release all the way down if it's available and the breath is smooth. Wherever you are, give yourself 5 slow, intentional breaths. One more breath here. Slowly come back up onto the hands. And all we're gonna do here is drop the hands behind you, swivel the knees to center, so now you're facing the side of the mat, and we're just gonna face the back of the mat to do the other side. So let your legs swivel to the left, line your left shin up with the back of your mat, and align your right shin up with the side of the mat. Flex into the ankles, spine up tall as you frame over your left leg. Deep breath in, and then exhale, slowly walk the hands down the back of the mat, lowering over your left leg. Same thing, drop down into your appropriate variation here. And try to release as much tension and effort from the shoulders as possible. Three more breaths. And then slowly come all the way up. Hands sweep behind you, swivel the knees to center, and just sway your knees side to side. Okay, we're gonna make our way down onto our backs. So come down into a nice reclined position, knees bent, and just start to walk the feet in towards the hips, about hips width apart or so. Hands drop down to your sides. We're gonna do just maybe a few rounds of some back bends. So as you press down into the feet, inhale, lift the hips up away from the ground. And then I want you to bend your elbows like little robot arms, and then try to tuck your shoulders underneath your body. Pressing into the elbows and into the feet to ground through the base of the big toe, and just feel that lifting of not just the hips, but feel the ribs opening and the heart lifting as well. One more breath here. And then slowly let your body roll all the way back down. Nice. Let's prepare again. Pressing into the feet. Inhale, lifting up through the hips, ribs, chest, tuck the shoulders. Press to the feet and the elbows to get more lift through the entirety of the spine. Press into the base of the big toes. Try not to let them peel open and away. One more breath. And then slowly come all the way back down. Okay, if wheel is in your toolbox and you feel ready to go for it today, you can plant the hands by the ears and come up into that variation. Otherwise, just another bridge pose. When you're ready, inhale, lift up, variation of choice. Couple more breaths. And then lower yourself all the way back down to the ground, hips touch. Rock the knees from side to side. And then as you come to center, let's just lengthen the legs up into a nice candlestick position. If you have a block, you can lift the hips, take a block underneath the sacrum, and then just extend the legs for a more supported variation. Otherwise, just stay here. Enjoy. Another option, shoulder stand. If you know it, it's part of your practice, take it. If not, I don't want you in it while trying to look at me and explain. Watch me, hit pause, do it on your own. Your legs will come over the head, hips start to curl up, hands to the lower back, lifting the hips to stack over the shoulders. Elbows in. Okay, shoulder stand if it's part of your practice. Otherwise, just stay in that candlestick. I don't want your head looking left or right. Okay, we are in a shoulder position, but sometimes we're bearing a little more weight onto the neck, so just be gentle. If you are in shoulder stand, hinge at your hips, plow pose. Legs drop overhead. Maybe interlace the fingers, knuckles to the floor. Maybe bend the knees to either side of your face. And then hands can either press into the back or into the ground to slowly lower the hips down to the ground. Roll down as slowly as you can. Knees to chest, hug them in from whatever position you're in, sway side to side. Right knee stays in, left leg stretches out. Take a deep breath in as you hold the knee with your left hand. Right arm falls to the right side. And exhale, twist. Pull it across the body to the left and down. Your head can roll over to the right side, if that feels okay on your neck, but keep the shoulder blade grounded, so your right shoulder's not peeling up and away. One more breath. Head back to center, knee back to center. Switching sides, left knee hugs in, right leg goes out long. Inhale, grab the knee with your right hand, left arm to the side. And then exhale, twist, pull it over to the right and down. Head can roll over to the left. Shoulders nice and heavy, pinned to the ground. Couple deep breaths here and just kind of let yourself enjoy that nice melting open. And then as your head comes back to center, knee back to center, hug both knees in nice and tight. Maybe wrap your hands around the knees, squeeze yourself in. And then we're going to slowly release all the way out for Shavasana, letting the legs stretch out, letting them fall off of the mat, letting the arms fall away from the body. Slightly tuck the shoulders, let the heart melt open. It shouldn't feel efforted. It should feel nice, relaxed, and open. Exhale, let all of your breath empty out. Slow breath in through the nose, fill up your belly, your ribs. Fill all the way up into your chest and your shoulders. Hold your breath. Open your mouth, exhale, let it all the way out. Again, taking a slow breath in through the nose, fill up your belly, fill up your ribs, fill all the way up into your chest and shoulders. Hold the breath at the very top. And then open up the mouth and exhale, just let everything out. Feel the entire body relax. No effort is needed, no control. Every muscle starts to soften into a puddle and just relaxing down into the ground and melting out. Every thought slowly fades into the background, less and less noticeable with every soft, relaxed breath. Feel yourself dropping below the surface. Ease yourself into your depth. Feel all of that energy of movement throughout practice start to settle into a still, calm surrender. For the next few minutes, just allow yourself to soak it all in, to enjoy, and to do absolutely nothing at all, but just be. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle all the way down into your fingers and in your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. Sway your head side to side. Stretch your arms over your head. Reach all the way down through your feet. Shift a little in your hips. And then start to draw the knees to the chest. Sway side to side. You're going to roll over to either side. Take a quick fetal position. And then use the top hand to press the floor away and come all the way up. Any seat of your choice, the eyes are nice and closed. Hands together at your heart. Thank your bodies for all that they just did for you. And thank you for allowing me to guide you today. Namaste. Thanks so much, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Hopefully you had fun, maybe caught a little bit of airtime. Anyways, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will have more content like this and others coming your way soon. Thanks, y'all.